Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Go ahead and grab a coffee and pull up a chair. Today we're having a one-on-one senior to junior developer coaching chat. Look, if you've been relying on kind of disorganized on-the-fly prompting to get your coding done with AI, it is absolutely time for a serious upgrade. We're going to completely transform your workflow by looking at exactly how Boris Cherny, the actual creator of Claude Code, starts every single project. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a professional blueprint that will save you massive amounts of debugging time and drastically improve your project accuracy. So let's just dive right into it. All right, so here is our game plan for today's session. We're going to cover 6 main things: planning before you build, auditing your instructions, setting up a verification loop, partitioning workflows, automating inner loops, and finally, building for better models. Okay, let's jump right into step 1. Plan before you build. Or, as I like to call it, moving slow to move fast. This right here is our first major workflow shift. You know, as a junior developer, it is so tempting to just rush straight into the code, right? You fire off a quick prompt, you cross your fingers hoping the AI guesses right, and then, well, you end up spending 5 hours debugging the mess it made. You're basically babysitting the output. But the senior developer strategy, it's completely different. You want to babysit the plan. Seriously, you should be spending like 80% of your session purely in plan mode until the logic is just flawless. Because once that plan is locked in, the actual building part becomes almost automatic. So how do we actually do that in practice? It's pretty simple. You force the AI to interview you before it writes a single line of code. Literally tell it, hey, before we start building, interview me. Ask me what the core problem is, who this is for, what success looks like, and crucially, what this should absolutely not do. By forcing this interview phase, the AI proactively exposes all those little gaps in your assumptions before anything gets built. And trust me, this is exactly how you stop the AI from trying to fix a tiny display bug and accidentally nuking your entire database architecture. Moving right along to section 2, audit your Claude instructions using the minimalist approach. So once our plan is rock solid, we really need to look at our ongoing instructions, specifically your claude.md file. Think of this as a permanent cheat sheet for your AI assistant. Now, almost everyone over-engineers this thing. We all kind of assume that throwing more instructions at it equals better results. But the counterintuitive truth here is that you really just need to do the minimal possible thing to get the model on track. Massive instruction files actually confuse the AI. It starts ignoring the genuinely critical rules, so you've got to keep your rules extremely lean. To fix this bloat, you need to run a strict cleanup. Here's a quick checklist for you. Remove any contradictions, delete the duplicate information, and just clear out the general bloat. And actually, you can just ask Claude to run this audit for you. Or, you could take the ultimate senior dev approach. YOLO delete the entire file and start completely fresh. I mean it, because models update so incredibly fast, whatever complex workaround you needed 6 months ago is probably built natively into the AI today. Starting completely fresh is often your safest bet when the AI starts getting off track. All right. That brings us to section 3, the verification feedback loop. This is how you 3x your quality. Okay, so you've planned perfectly, your instructions are nice and lean, but how do you actually make sure the AI didn't just silently break your app in the background? Well, you build a verification loop, and the process is just elegantly simple. Step 1, give the AI a tool. Step 2, tell the AI about that tool. Step 3, let it execute. So if you're building a website, have Claude open up a browser and actually test it. Or if you're writing content, tell it to review its own output against your brand guidelines. That feedback loop is literally going to multiply the quality of your final result. Now, the absolute key here is to bake this verification directly into your foundation. You want to mention your verification process inside your claude.md file before you do any work at all. Why? Because this forces the AI to present a clear testing plan to you before it even begins writing code. If it can't figure out how to verify the work up front, well, that's a massive red flag that you need to rethink your entire approach. Next up, section 4, partitioning parallel workflows, or as I like to call it, multiplying yourself. If you truly want to multiply yourself as a developer, you absolutely have to master partitioning. This means running multiple independent AI sessions at the exact same time without them destroying your project files. Think of it kind of like managing a team of junior developers. If 2 coders try to type over each other's work on the exact same file, it's a total disaster, right? Well, the same thing goes for AI. The strategy here is to strictly assign completely non-overlapping tasks to your simultaneous independent sessions. I absolutely love this quote from Boris. He says, 2 context windows that don't know about each other tend to get better results. And it's so true. When an AI is deep in the weeds of a super long conversation, its context window gets, all fogged up with baggage. Sometimes the absolute best debugging move you can make is to just spin up a completely fresh partition session. It looks at the hard problem with zero baggage, and boom, it instantly spots the obvious solution that your other session totally missed. All right, let's move on to section 5, automating repetitive inner loops. As you grow into a senior role, your main goal should be to stop repeating yourself by systematizing your daily tasks. Think about it like basketball. A standard prompt is basically like telling a player to dribble. It's super basic. But creating a documented Claude skill or a slash command is like calling a highly specific pick and roll play. The AI knows exactly how to run it perfectly every single time. So whether it's formatting a specific data report or running a standard code review, turning these repetitive inner loops into reusable Claude skills is infinitely more powerful than typing out a huge paragraph of instructions every single day. And hey, if you're sitting there wondering where to even start with this, just use the AI as your mentor. Literally ask it, based on the project I'm working on right now, what Claude skills should I create? It's amazing. It will automatically analyze your workflow, identify your bottlenecks, and actually build those reusable skills for you to speed up your specific day-to-day operations. It's a real game changer. Finally, section 6, build for better models. This is the ultimate mindset shift. Let's pull back for a second for the biggest architectural lesson of this whole coaching session. Right now, there is an entire industry out there completely obsessed with optimizing prompts. Spending hours on these tiny micro tweaks just to force an AI to output something perfectly. But honestly, that is largely wasted time. Why? Because those micro tweaks become completely obsolete the second the next model update drops. Instead, senior engineers focus on providing rich context. They build solid information systems, repeatable workflows, and great documentation, stuff that actually scales alongside the AI. And this leads perfectly into the bitter lesson. It's this famous essay in AI research that Boris actually keeps framed on his wall. It states, "The more general model will always beat the more specific model. Never bet against the model." The fundamental philosophy here is really simple. All those clever prompt workarounds and complex scaffolding you're painstakingly building today just to fix an AI's limitations, those fixes are literally going to be built natively into the general model in 6 months. So seriously, never bet against the model getting smarter. So I want to leave you with one final kind of provocative question. Are you wasting hours micromanaging an AI today, or are you building the structured systems that will automatically scale with the models of tomorrow? Just remember the mentor's blueprint we covered today. Spend time planning before you build, keep your instructions minimal, always run that verification loop, partition your parallel work, and systematize your skills. It is time to stop fighting the AI and start managing it like the senior developer you are. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to go completely rebuild your daily coding workflow right now. You've got this.